Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Firm. I am not your host today. Lance is your host. I'm just Al sitting here reacting Gore with host Lance Cayko. And before we get into this great show, which is this one simple practice, will win you more clients.
You guys need more business? You're going to keep listening.
Do it. We're going to talk about once you get those clients, how do you execute on that? And you go to RevitRocketship.com. You learn Revit. You learn how to model like it gets built. You get your team on the same page so you run smoother, better, more responsibility, more reward. RevitRocketship.com. Lance.
Arcat.com is your one-stop shop for specifications, CAD details, BIM content, and so much more. Whether you're an architect, engineer, or contractor, Arcat has the tools you need to streamline your projects and stay ahead of the curve. Best of all, it's completely free to use. Start your next product search on Arcat. That's ARCAT.com. Al, pretty exciting show today. First thing I want to talk about is there's 3 different ways to make decisions. And this was written by James Clear. He's a writer at jamesclear.com. Doesn't that name sound familiar?
It's very, I'm going to look up.
I think he's the Atomic Habits guy. But I need you to look it up.
Dude.
So please pull that up, Jamie. James Clear here on LinkedIn. This came up. I don't know why this came up, but it did. And somebody sent it to me. Maybe it was Al, because it looked like LinkedIn but dark version.
Ooh, dark LinkedIn. Yes, he has Atomic Habits.
Perfect. Everybody should follow this guy. I should follow this guy. Look at this. I should follow that guy. I just followed him. James posts, I think about decisions in 3 ways: hats, haircuts, and tattoos. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, my hair is short because I got it cut about a month ago, and it's feeling really good. So this relates to me. I also have a tattoo, and sometimes I wear hats. Yeah. I don't know about Al, though, because the only decision I see him making a lot is about haircuts, and he's doing a great job.
I know.
He gets a fade. It looks really good when he does the fade. It's really cool looking.
I do think this is so. You have one tattoo on one leg to balance it out. Like, I don't know how you aren't hobbling.
Well, I'm thinking about either just getting. I'm not even joking. Actually, like, what if I got rid of it? I don't know why I want to, but I'm 42.
Yeah,
silly.
Yeah,
but I am the seahorse. I am the daddy seahorse, and I've always said like, it's kind of a seahorse looking dragon.
Well, there's that, and
I'm
then
a daddy seahorse.
So, like, you'll have to read James Clear to me. But, like, if one of the answers is more tattoos, like, you need a fish on the other side.
You heard it. You heard it there, because seahorse is not a fish. Yeah. Most decisions are like hats, James says. Try one, and if you don't like it, put it back and try another. The cost of a mistake is low. So move quickly and try a bunch of hats. Some decisions, though, are like haircuts, James says. You can fix a bad one, but it won't be quick, and you might feel foolish for a while. That said, don't be scared of a bad haircut. Trying something new is usually a risk worth taking. If it doesn't work out by this time next year, you will have moved on, and so will everyone else. Third one, though, a few decisions are like tattoos or piercings. Or what's another one, Al? I don't know.
I don't even want to. My brain's going in bad places.
Okay. Once you make them, if Al's thinking about never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you make them, you have to live with them. Some mistakes are reversible. Maybe
irreversible.
Irreversible, excuse me. Thank you. Maybe you'll move on for one moment, but then you'll glance in the mirror and be reminded that choice all over again. Even years later, the decision leaves a mark. When you're dealing with an irreversible choice, move slowly and think carefully. I want to relate this to clients, but you go ahead.
So the biggest one, let's say tattoos, I think the best example of that is Amazon. And Jeff Bezos, I'll try to remember all 3. He said, Amazon is based on these fundamentals. And he said, let me know if you ever think these fundamentals are ever going to change. People want the products that they want cheaper, faster, and I think he said more conveniently.
Yep.
And it's like, if we do that, then we win. And it's like, that's a tattoo. Though, if it's the same product that you could get here or on Amazon, do I want it cheaper and faster and more conveniently? Or do I want it more expensive, slower, and less convenient? Like, of course, that's a tattoo idea.
Yeah. I want to... I talked about this. One of my goals this year is to not agree to be hired by general contractors as an architect. Really just fundamental business decision that I think is pretty much 100% correct. Like, don't do that. So I haven't done it yet. The other one is trying to not get in bed with folks that, metaphorically speaking, try to get in bed with folks where you're like, maybe you're a little hungry for work, you need to keep work flowing in. But at the end of the day, just take a deep breath and really think about, like, should I do this for the lower fee that they want me to do it for, which is probably too low? And then what does it mean for the rest of my company and the rest of my clients, and how long are we suffering through this and all that? So I just like think a little bit deeper about that. Are you tattooing yourself?
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Yep.
We're also reading a book right now. It's called Conscious Capitalism. Al and I are reading it. I highly recommend it, everybody. Thanks to Luke Cronin of Cronin Engineering for just gifting it to me and Al, which is awesome.
Yep.
He also gave us another book called, what is it, Crisis?
The Comfort Crisis.
The Comfort Crisis. 100% recommend it. But I'm finishing up the Conscious Capitalism book, and it's written by the founder of Whole Foods. And then he actually narrates it a little bit. It's really good. There's something I wanted to bring up to you also about, like, once you get to that part, like, there's a spiritual component to it, all of this stuff. I just really recommend it. And what I really love about books like this, or, you take like one or two things away from them, and sometimes I just need to hear it from, like, a person who's more successful than me or Al or whatever for me to go, all right, fine. You're right. I need to rethink this whole thing. I need to actually change my frame of view.
And what was that
wrong.
point? What was that one point?
So, not thinking of competitors as, like, competitors. And so I have a little excerpt here from the book, and it's titled Rethinking Competitors as Allies instead of actual competitors, which is like counterintuitive. And so it's more of like, I used to think of like competitors as like, we're at war. Like, we are at war.
Yep.
We are fighting you. The whole world is out to kill you.
But it's it's so funny. It's just because we have competitors that are competitors, like Rodwin, but he's awesome. We like him. He likes us.
I'm literally meeting with the gal who kicked our butts for the Best of Mile High Award this year. She's a competitor, but I'm looking at her as an ally, and it really made me think about this. This is the reason why I'm bringing it up, is honestly because of her. I'm excited to meet her. I'm going to meet her in like 2 weeks, I think. And we're going to go see how we can collaborate and stuff like that. And I just think it's good to know. Like, it's awesome that somebody else is striving for the same sort of level of customer service that we've been spearheading, I think, in Colorado. So here's the excerpt from the book.
Goal. Competitors. Most companies do not think of their competitors as stakeholders. They view them as enemies to be crushed in the marketplace. Companies commonly use war metaphors in thinking about competitors, but a more constructive way to think about competitors is as allies in striving for mutual excellence. Good competitors help a business to improve and evolve because they offer its stakeholders choices. They can coax a company out of its complacency and away from suboptimal behaviors. Competitors create and innovate, coming up with ideas, strategies, products, and services that we may not have thought of on our own. This constructive view is built on thinking about competitors in terms of what we can learn from them. Potentially, we can learn more from strong competitors than from anyone else, as they can from us. Most companies tend to look critically at competitors and focus on what they do poorly. No doubt many competitors do things that are foolish or strategically unwise. But when they adopt a critical stance towards their competitors, business leaders can become arrogant and complacent. With such a mindset, it is impossible for them to learn anything. A far better attitude to have toward competitors is to zero in on what they're doing right. what they do better than us. It takes high emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and humility to recognize when a competitor is actually superior and can teach us and help our organization become better.
All right. I want to talk about my...
I just want to say the humility part is what I was lacking. But this book gave me the humility. So.
There you go. There you go. How it applies to us, and then I'll bring up another thing later. He used the word stakeholders, and that was my question. And this book was written, probably in the 90s? It seems like.
Yeah,
sure. Doesn't matter. And I like that it's reframing, but I would reframe it one more time. And what I wrote down was, well, competitors allow you to have a quicker feedback loop or an improvement feedback loop. But they're almost, your competitors, you can also think about them internally as like an innovation machine. Meaning, we have an improvement processes that we have here at F9. We're trying to improve this. We're trying to make this more streamlined. All of a sudden, a competitor is showing you another way, and maybe a proven way. And
a better way. A leaner way.
Exactly. So, like,
perhaps.
That's, your competitors are part of your innovation mechanism.
100%. I was trying to look up when this was written. It doesn't say. Oh, 2014, so recently. So this is only a 10-year-old book.
What's weird about it is the narration. I've heard this guy narrate, and it's normally on books in the 70s. Like, maybe they just hired the narrator that they used in the 70s.
He's got a radio face.
Yep.
Some of us have a radio. Some of us actually. Some of us have a YouTube face. Yeah, no. So here's who does it for us, this is what I appreciate. Our marketing firm does this for us. We look at our competitors, and our last marketing meeting, remember 2 weeks ago or last week or whatever it was. That's exactly what they did. Is they held up our competitors and go, here's what you guys are actually doing better. And I think maybe they said sometimes too what other competitors are doing. Yeah, we do a contrast of like, we're beating these guys in these areas, but we need to improve in these other areas.
No, remember they specifically said, here's what you're not doing that they're doing.
Yeah, so you got to do that. Like, that's how I like to see them as allies. Is like, and in the end, here's the idea. The idea is that we all rise together. Like, I would like that. Once again, I would like that. It would be nice if there was less of the public that would eventually gets pissed off at architects, contractors, everybody involved in this, engineers, about the poor customer service and just not picking up the phone, not doing your job, over promising, under-delivering versus the opposite, right? All that kind of good stuff. So try to think of your competitors as part of your stakeholders, right, as your allies. That can be helpful, I think, rather than just dismissing the crappiness that they're doing. And they are doing crappiness, right? So be grateful for their crappiness, because hopefully it's getting you more business. And here's the last thing I want to talk about for the show today, to hope we hopefully get more business. So this was shocking to me. Al and I had like very similar responses from clients. Al signed one. I'm on the verge of signing one. I'm pretty excited about it. Fairly big project for us. And I show up to the sales meeting, and we get to I love when this part happens. Like, I'm meeting with a potential client, and maybe they've already met with another architect, or they've worked with another architect. I love being able to ask the question, what did you love about that other architect? What did you hate about that other architect? And then I get the biggest grin on my face ever, because I don't think they're like, oh, what are we going to say? And they didn't tell me what they liked about him, this other architect that was competing against us. But they told me what they didn't like. And they go, but they said it in a nice way, because they said, well, here's what we like about you, which the other architect didn't do.
Oh, look at that.
And it was, you showed up on time.
Wow.
The other one was like way late, way late. And you're taking notes. The other architect didn't even feel like they were listening to us. Right? And I took very detailed notes. And Al, I think, does this too. At the end of a lot of our proposals, where I know I'm taking like critical notes for my team, for them, for everybody. It's part of the listening process, part of the hearing process, part of the empathetic process. Emotional intelligence goes with it, right? Is like I put those notes neatly at the end of our proposal to show that I'm listening.
And I put them at the beginning.
Even better. Look at this guy. Al Salesman Gore. Yeah. So I had to ask Grok. Is there any proof that simply taking notes and showing up on time wins more clients?
Oh. What did Grok say? Yeah.
Hey, this is an unbiased show. Okay. Grok says there's no direct universal study that says, quote, take notes, show up on time, and you'll win more clients guaranteed, end quote. But let's break this down with some reasoning and evidence from what we know about human behavior and business. Showing up on time signals reliability. A 2017 study from Harvard Business Review found that punctuality strongly correlates with perceptions of professionalism and trustworthiness, qualities clients tend to value. If you're late, it's a strike against you before you even open your mouth. For example, a survey by Career Builder showed 41% of employers wouldn't hire someone who showed up late to an interview.
Yeah.
Right? I mean I'm surprised it's not more.
Yep. The only one is like a rare thing, but totally agree.
Clients aren't that different. They're judging you on the same cues. Taking notes, because they're your employer, essentially. Taking notes, meanwhile, shows you're engaged in detail-oriented research on active listening. Like a 2014 study from the Journal of Business Communication suggests that behaviors like note-taking boost perceptions of competence and respect. Clients notice when you remember specifics about their needs without fumbling. It's not just polite, it's strategic. Sales data backs this vibe. A 2021 HubSpot report found that reps who actively document interactions close details 13% more often than those who wing it.
Look at that. 13% more. There we go.
Yep. So last little blurb.
I mean, that's the proof right there.
Exactly.
I want to reread that. 2021 HubSpot report found that reps who actively document client interactions close deal 13% more. That's worth this whole podcast right there.
There you go. So if you like this episode and your mom needs to hear it, your competitor who is an ally needs to hear it, then you need to share that episode with all those people. Give us a 5-star review on the Google, subscribe on YouTube. We'll see you next episode.